we're back with another motovlog. Today's motovlog is kind of a video response to Jeff Cutler Lover, and he talks about money, currency. There was a video he had about plastic currency, gold, like a gold plated piece of plastic money looking thing. And then I think he posted a video, something about the price of gold, or maybe he just posted a picture or something. But I mentioned to him in one of his videos that every currency is fiat money. I don't care what precious metal that you think is good currency. Every currency is a construct. Every money is a construct, except for the actual item that you want, that you need to live or survive. All right. So my explanation of why I think every currency is fiat currency does not include bartering. Okay, bartering is not currency. Bartering is actually trading what you want for what you can make, or what you can provide, or what you have that you don't need. So the reason I say that is throughout history, every currency that has been used has only a perceived value. I remember I was sitting in church and I remember a friend of mine mentioned that he was at church, and the sermon was about tithing, right? Donating to the church. And the preacher said that money is just a placeholder for your efforts, for your work. And I accept that interpretation of money, because if you apply it to the realities of where you're at and what you do and how you get money, it's true, right? So say you're a furniture maker and you make furniture, and you want to trade the work that you do on the furniture for food, or for a vehicle, or for fuel to fuel your vehicle. Are you gonna bring the furniture that you make and trade it at a gas station for a tank of gas? No. If you're a painter, how do you trade the effort that you spent painting somebody's house or painting a building to get food or get supplies that you need? Unless you actually trade your efforts to get the food, or say somebody has a car that you want to buy or that you want to acquire. You say, hey, I'm a painter, can I paint your house for that car? Well, if they agree, you're gonna have to paint enough to where whoever is selling that vehicle to be worth what they're selling it for, or what the value of that vehicle is. So that aside, right, the money is what is used to take the place of your efforts that you've provided to somebody, or the efforts of what you've made and sold to somebody else, that whatever they did to earn that money, to trade for your effort to make whatever it was that they want, right? So every form of currency is a placeholder. Gold is a placeholder for your work. Silver, paper money, right? That people call paper money fiat money. Okay, so yeah, it's the paper is a representation of how much value of the efforts that you perform to get that paper money. And yeah, so say you have a piece of paper that says $1 or a piece of paper that says $100. Yeah, that piece of paper in and of itself, the paper is the same value, right? So I get that why people designate paper money as fiat money, but it's a designated value. Same with gold, same with silver. It's a designated value. I have what do you call it? Special alloys, scrap special alloys that are probably worth more than gold and silver, but I can't just take that hunk of that special alloy and go to somebody and say, hey, you know, this hunk of special alloy is worth $1,000. You know, give me $1,000 for it. They're gonna be like, you're out of your mind. Because it's not a perceived value, right? So even though it costs a whole lot more to make that special piece of alloy than, say, gold or silver or whatever, it's not a perceived value by the public. So back in history, there's a book I read called 1493, and in the book it talks about how one of the stories in the book was that China has gone bankrupt at least like 9 times since, you know, the 1100s or 1200s, something like that, 1400s. But there, you know, China still exists, and part of it is, you know, the storyline says that, you know, first they started with like bronze coins, and then as the dynasties changed, the new dynasty made a new bronze coin which negated the old bronze coins. So even though the old bronze coins are still made out of bronze, they have no more perceived value. Besides, the new bronze coins have perceived values now. And then a new dynasty took over and said, hey, it's cheaper to make paper money, so let's make paper money, and then we'll negate the bronze coins. So then the bronze coins became worthless, right? But at one time the bronze coins were worth something, and then now the paper's worth something. And then, of course, I'm sure some of you have heard the stories about some, you know, third world tribe that used to trade seashells as money. You know, seashells were their currency. And then when explorers found that this population, there were things that they wanted that this population could provide or could find or do labor to extract for them, they found that they were using these seashells as currency, and they knew, because they were explorers or travelers, they knew where to find, you know, a boatload, a literal boatload of these seashells. So then they flooded that population with the seashells, because the perceived value of those seashells was that population's currency. But you know, it's literally worthless. It's just a placeholder for what that population was doing and trading for each other. And of course, you probably heard the story about the Dutch, I think, trading the Indians in Manhattan. Of course, this could be legend or lore, but the story is supposedly the Dutch bought Manhattan from the Native Americans for a bunch of beads and trinkets, because the beads and trinkets had perceived value by the Native Americans. So, you know, the beads and trinkets were their currency. So every currency it has a perceived value, and just like diamonds, you know, diamonds, yeah, weren't currency, but you know, there's that story about the Beers Corporation finding a huge mine that would have reduced the value of diamonds because of supply and demand. You know, the supply was overwhelming, so the demand would have tanked. So they purchased all the mines, and they created a false shortage of diamonds in order to either raise or keep the value of those diamonds up. So it's, you know, it's a fake value. And the next kind of story that relates to what I'm saying is there's a show, an episode of The Twilight Zone, where these bank robbers, like back in the 50s, right? They stole a bunch of gold, and their plan was to go into this cryogenic unit and, you know, sleep for hundreds of years, and then when they wake up, you know, the statutes of limitations would have expired, and they would be rich, you know, and they would live a great life because they stole all this gold, and now they're not considered criminals anymore. So they steal the gold, they go to this cave, and they get into their cryogenic units, and, you know, go into hibernation. And the years pass, and the timer stops, and so it wakes one of the characters up. So he gets up of his cryogenic unit, and his partner, apparently a rock fell on his partner's cryogenic unit and broke it and killed his partner. So he was the only one of the two. So it's like, oh, cool, you know, sorry, but, you know, now all the gold is mine. Well, he gets this bag of gold, and he goes outside from the cave where the cryogenic unit is, and it's a desert, you know, where there's like literally nobody around. And of course, I can't remember if he had a vehicle or not, but he's like, oh, well, I'm just going to walk to the closest town. So he carries this bag of gold, and you know, he's in the desert, he's thirsty, the gold is heavy, and basically, essentially, he passes out. And then this car drives by and sees him on the side of the road, and you know, this old man gets out of this modern sci-fi looking car, and he's like, hey, what's, you know, are you okay? And the robber is like, oh yeah, hey, I need some water, can you give me some water? I'll give you some gold for this water. And then he just dies, he passes out, or he dies. And so the driver's like, oh, well, sorry, you know, I don't know what to do. So he goes back to his car, and the wife asked the guy, well, what was that all about? He's like, oh, well, this guy, you know, he was thirsty, and he wanted to buy water from me, or you know, get me to get him some water, and he was going to pay me in gold. And she's like, wow, that's weird. He's like, yeah, he thought gold was worth something. So, yeah, I mean, gold is only worth something because it's perceived by the general population. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in gold. I'm not saying that gold isn't valuable at this time, but to consider gold or silver or any precious metal or jewels or minerals that, you know, that they are not fiat currency, that's not accurate. Anything that is considered currency is fiat currency. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Tell me what you think. Is gold fiat currency? To me, my currency is lead. All right. Talk to you guys later. Take care.